So they've gone back to true and tried and tested. It's game 2. Can Paradigm 2-0 Panthera again?
QvoFred's in a bad spot. That's going to be a 2 for 0 so far as Dimi comes in with a huge ultimate, stunning 2 and killing 1.
Emilitoo was looking for the kill there. Oh,
This guy's not human.
focus onto Lawbster instead. He's trying to get the
No!
ball, but
No!
well, the world champions having their hardest test so far this year, being down 1-0 to Paradigm here. And game 2, I think we may see Panthera do what Paradigm do themselves and probably kick it up a notch.
I would imagine so. I definitely thought Panthera would be coming in kind of coasting for the remaining weeks, but I think after losing like that, there's no way they're going to let Paradigm walk all over them in game 2.
I mean, that surrender vote for me kind of spelled like...
That was really surprising.
Well, I think it was more or less like, surrender, okay, this game's over, let's go back in and just wreck them game 2.
I wonder if that's their first surrender since they made it into the SPL in the summer split of Season 2. I would reckon it is, because they were still competitive in the summer split, even though iRaffer got banned.
That's true.
And then after that, they lost a single game during the regular split. Obviously, they're not going to surrender at lands. And then they've been so dominant this split, that has to... It's got to be their first surrender.
It's a very, very fair amount. So it's a very, very few amount, if any, other than that one. So, Najjar banned out this time by Panthera. More respect the way of Qvo's Najjar. Paradigm with the first option. They chose Jingwei last time. But Janus got through the ban phase, and immediately they're like, we'll take it.
I also think this is these teams scrimming. Obviously, Panthera, they want to be able to challenge themselves, and Paradigm have proven themselves to be overall the second contender in EU, although it is much closer than I think it's been in past seasons. And, you know, they banned out Janus. Instead, they're going to respect QvoFred's Najjar, and immediately Paradigm wastes no time. They're like, give me Najjar. This could be a Bacchus pickup. This could be a Bacchus pickup just to keep it out of the hands of Trix.
Well, we saw Sobek come out from Rafa last game, and I've not really seen too much Sobek out of him this season, but it didn't really work well. I didn't see many charge praise. You called the Bacchus,
yes.
And Panthera, this is looking a little bit more like their standard things. Neith has been brought back into the fray, which means they're going try-hard.
iRaffer definitely has a really good Bacchus, but just keeping this out of the hands of Trixtank is so important, because we saw what Trix can do when he gets a lead on Bacchus specifically. There's other characters that he will find kills on and like do really well, but his Bacchus can straight carry a game.
Now, with that being said, this Guan Yu, I feel maybe the support right now, but Bakasura can flex to solo and the jungle position. QvoFred has gone to it already this season. Don't think we've seen it out of Xaliea so far.
Nah, this is going to be QvoFred, I would imagine. And Xaliea as well. Got a little bit pressured out by the blown early, but after I think we saw a little bit of pressure relief and immediately a response by Panthera to pick up Nemesis. So at the beginning of the split, would you ever say Bakasura and Nemesis would be in the same game?
If I was watching Original Envy from last year versus, I don't know, somebody else.
Fair enough. But this season?
This season? No, probably not.
Okay.
Especially they say Sol and Athena banned out by Panthera now, and back to Paradigm for their final ban. They already focused on mid laner, maybe Kronos here as well. There we go.
And both teams playing Kronos, so this kind of makes sense. Even if Funballer can't get it, keeping it out of the hands of emilitoo potentially. Ice is going to be picked up, so a lot of early pressure coming out of Panthera to help with their Nemesis, right? They have the Bacchus, the Isis, two of the strongest when you look at the 3v3 cores of teams, and the Nemesis kind of one of the weakest, and so having this Bacchus and Isis should help her get out of her struggles in the early game.
No Jingwei this time round for Funballer. He's gone to Xbalanque. He's going to try and use that global ultimate to the team's advantage, deny some vision, which can set up nicely for Guan Yu and Bakasura, to be fair.
Last pick coming in for Paradigm, looking for their support, and it's going to be Gep. So Trixtank on the truest of supports in the game, I would say.
Yeah, but his best Guardian is by far Geb. Trixtank's
yes.
best Guardian has always been Geb, always has been, always
I don't
will
want to
be.
see his Capri again.
He brought out Sylvanas. When Sylvanas first got released, he was one of the first players to do it. He didn't make it work, and then everybody thought Sylvanas was bad, and the next minute everyone was like, he's the best thing ever.
That's because he was like Capri on steroids when it comes to lane control. Like just like auto-attacking and healing your minions, debuffing the others.
Whoa, that's a Thor as a final pick. Where's that Nemesis going? Is
That's
that a
Dimi.
solo Nemesis?
That's Dimi. That's a Dimi special.
No, it's not a Dimi special. That's a Xaliea special.
I know, but it's going to be Dimi. He's going to take it to Xaliea. He's going to show it with his own god.
Dimi's going to run Nemesis into the guy that brought Nemesis to the solo lane?
I mean, Cyclone played it too. After Xaliea, to be fair.
Yeah, but Saku's not even a solo laner anyway. And we're talking about real solo laners, European solo laners, world champion solo laners. Panthera, they need to find a win here to split. Will they go with the split, or will Paradigm 2-0? Xaliea with a good silence, keeping Axios in an awkward position. Swimmers are making it come up big. One more hit, he will die as well to Xaliea, who gets a double.
Run away, Xalia's coming. He got him again! Blind shot in the dark finds the kill.
Trixtank is there, still stunned, but it doesn't matter. Funballer finds the last hit, and then he finds a beautiful stun on Variety as well. He can't even get Lawbringer off.
Game 2, and it's going to
No.
be Dimi on Thor solo. Okay. Interesting. This was a definite flex pick they were looking at, I guess, to bring out and show. And meanwhile, Xaliea is going to be in the Guan Yu. Thor versus Guan Yu. I'd say Thor isn't too bad in this situation just because the wall can stop Talo Assault.
And that's the whole idea, right? Anyone who can stun out or silence Guan Yu's Talo Assault immediately has the advantage. However, that's, typically looking at your normal meta solo laners. Hades was, iconically picked up last season against the Guan Yu anytime it was locked in, and it just completely destroyed him here. It'll be a little bit interesting, though, seeing Dimi not only in this matchup, but just like on an assassin. This is the first time we've seen him. Well, did he play a Loki last season, maybe?
He has played some Loki before, yeah. He's known for,
but
had some Loki.
That's completely different
The
than
thing I'm
Thor.
looking at with this is this composition coming out from Panthera here. Is this a pocket strat that they're now revealing
This is
because they're annoyed?
experiment.
Or is it an experiment?
This is an experiment for me. There's no way this is a pocket strat that they're pulling out here in Week 8 when they've already qualified for DreamHack and they only need 2 more wins to guarantee their spot. And with the amount of games played, this is they want to test Dimi on an assassin, right? They've given him mages in the past, and he's done very well in. But if you want to test something up against Paradigm, when you're already guaranteed DreamHack, it's the best stage to do it in the SPL.
If you were Paradigm here, though, and you were saw this go through, wouldn't you maybe look at putting Bacchus solo?
Bacchus?
Bakasura solo.
Bakasura, potentially. I mean, maybe Xaliea, though, hasn't been practicing the god because when they get it, it's going to QvoFred. It's definitely something where you need to be comfortable with your god, especially if you're going into a matchup that you may not be familiar with.
Well, we just watched that whole little play there. They did blue buff, speed buff, mid harpies, and now Dimi's still going to be back in time to soak most of his experience in lane.
And he's losing gold on purpose in this situation. The whole idea is that he wants to guarantee that he'll hit the wave, which he did. Also, it helps get adapting, rolling in the early game, so he doesn't have to worry about pressure. You can see QvoFred expecting those mid harpies to be up.
And they weren't. And meanwhile, on the left-hand side, pressure onto Funballer, already below half health, no health potions remaining in his inventory.
Whoa, actually, Trixtank rolling forward here. He should be fine. Oh no, iRaffer might be able to read this on the jump. And there it is.
Now he's in place. He has a blink. Good use of the blink, though, to get away, and a good shield as well. Unless you protect Funballer. Awkward play from Paradigm.
That was the roll forward. And then I love what emilitoo does. He was definitely looking to hit the arrow onto Trixtank, but the second he saw the blink, just the quick turn, looking for Funballer. Doesn't connect it, but still, it was nice.
And now he's just back to farming here. And you can see the passivity that we're going to have to see out of Paradigm there as iRaffer goes aggressive, keeping Funballer back with that rising Jaguar usage. He's, like we said, out of health potions here. And they're looking to invade back Harpies. Unfortunately, those balls did change, so they're a little bit longer on the respawn.
And so not going to be able to invade that, but adapting going to help combine with Yammyn for those back Harpies. And look at this. You can see QvoFred trying to get some stolen back Harpies of his own, but he actually went to the wrong side of the map. Paradigm not keeping track there.
Lawbster being picked on by Adapt in the mid lane with that slow, but he's going to get away with that portal. And the rise
Yammyn.
of Nemesis is... Oh, Qvo. Not Yammyn. Oh, Qvo.
He's fine. He's got to jump.
Not going to find the silence, not going to find the stun, so Qvo going to farm it up, and the ult comes out from Adapting
Oh, he's
there.
dead.
And the position around the wall, beautiful playing collapse. Dimi rotates in, Adapting covers the option, and they pick up the kill.
I thought he was going to kill Xaliea too. I was like, there is no way. Left-hand side between a Tier 1 and Tier 2. Panthera getting aggressive. QvoFred's rotated, but he's only level 4. He hasn't been able to farm. emilitoo getting zoned out with the help of
Good play from
iRaffer.
iRaffer. The stun from Spirit Arrow connects on to Funballer, who's very low out of mod. Trixtank isolated, trying to lead them on a merry goose chase, allowing his team to get away from danger. But Funballer is, oh man, he's so low.
iRaffer could close the gap, and he is going to get the knock-up. He does have Meditation, so he's not too worried about diving in. Going to be popped. He's going to heal up. And Panthera starting off strong early, already a 1,000 gold lead. Raffer predicted a split.
And it's going to be a Gold Fury here as well, called from Panthera. They're going to go straight for it as well. No ultimate available for Yammyn to secure this one here, but nobody from Panthera really here. Lawbster does have through space and time, and the presence of Trixtank's rollout will force the reset.
Panthera wanted it free there because they know Paradigm hadn't backed yet to get ward coverage, so if Paradigm didn't walk into the Gold Fury, he was going to go uncontested, which it was a nice look. Unfortunately, though, Paradigm smells something fishy. Trixtank rolls out, notices it, and Panthera has to back off. They don't want to force the fight. They had already won the engagements. They've already, more importantly, it hasn't even been them getting kills or them invading that's got this lead. It's actually the fact that, based on the positioning, they've been forcing Paradigm to run around and lose so much farm in the lanes. That was just how Lawbster got picked off, actually. He got ganked in the mid lane, he portals over the wall, but then Dimi just collapsed, and he was running in circles, missed like a wave and a half, and then died.
If you go to the graphs, you'll see the experience as a team here, because you can see the XP per minute there.
Oh, wow.
But it's actually just been evened up by that. I'm surprised they managed to keep it in so much at the beginning of the game.
I'm not crazy. That was like a 1K gold lead a second ago, right?
I agree. It was, but then they found out their own jungle. They didn't get it stripped away, so it just allowed, because the pressure was off. Talk about pressure off. Dimi gonna stun out Xaliea and just jump back to his hammer and recall back to base again. Has gone teleport on the Thor as well, which we've mentioned before is, as an assassin, Thor's the one that has a spare relic slot for the most part.
And you know, we see this a lot from jungle players. I would say the first to really bring it out on a regular basis was Aninster. Since then, a lot of players have adopted the style, most notably adapting. We've seen him go the teleport on Thor. Sometimes he'll go Sanctuary as well, depending on how the game's playing out. But this is just such a good relic on Thor because you have so many options to escape team fights. You come crashing in, you do a lot of damage, and then you can split push very effectively without having to worry too much about getting ganked.
Imps on the right-hand side do go the way of Qvo, and Xaliea continue to farm up as well. Lawbster even gave him a portal there. That was a nice little usage just to get into the back copies a little bit quicker.
And adapting here, going to split some experience with Dimi, level 8 right now on Thor. And Nemesis should be hitting level 8 here soon. So Nemesis very good against Geb in a lot of situations, especially if you can stop the rollout. The ult basically, the Divine Judgment basically guarantees a kill on Geb, very similar to Ares as well.
Yeah, he's useful for multiple stages, and the big difference with Nemesis now is the ultimate. If we can just hover over the ultimate, you'll see it's now up to 50%
at
of
all
the
ranks.
protections are shredded at all ranks.
And that's the thing, right? When you had to wait, 25 minutes to get that much of a protection steal, it wasn't super useful. At 50%, even early on, that's a lot to take away.
Base rank is 30% of your current health as well is lost. And max rank is 50% of your current health and 50% of your protection. So you're pretty much dead. The power of Nemesis is strong, and teams are starting to get more and more compelled by it.
The power of Nemesis compels you.
I just said
I know,
that.
but
I said that. You tried to cut me off.
But you
make your own
I
jokes.
started it up before you
jokes.
finished it, so I didn't know if you were going to go for that.
Make your own
jokes. It was great.
Don't steal my stuff.
No, we're a team.
We are?
We both felt the same joke. 0-1. Panthera has the lead in kills. Also about 400 gold ahead right now. Only 6 minutes in. Paradigm kind of been caught running around for the most part. You can see adapting here. Looking for QvoFred in the jungle, just trying to force him away for now. But this is the complete opposite start of Game 1, where Paradigm were the first to find a kill and also kind of run Panthera out of their own jungle. QvoFred, though, staying even for the most part. 4,100 in farm next to the 42 from adapting.
It's just a farm up now. Paradigm realized that they got behind early. Panthera found a beautiful pick onto Lawbster and put pressure everywhere on the map. And Paradigm's like, right, okay, let's just wait for the team fights, because you know what? When we get to the team fight stage, we've got Xbalanque ultimate, we've got Geb shields, and we've got that healing from Xaliea.
Xaliea actually going to be forced back to base. Dimi going to go to this guy. You can see QvoFred trying to spear his speed, but it's already done. And Dimi should be able to get this blue buff before Xaliea can even walk around the corner. Adapting lag just off the mark there.
Just a good call from him. They're going to wall and catch Xaliea off, but Xalia's not really too worried about that in the jungle though. Bit of a fight going on here. Good cataclysm comes out from QvoFred. They're looking to collapse through space and time from Lawbster, connects and deletes Yammyn. Now we're going to see Qvo use the portal to escape as Will Weaver's fired across the map, actually hitting Xaliea, and Xaliea deleted Dimi.
Really?
1v1.
That was just beautiful execution by Paradigm all around. QvoFred even managed to get out. We heard the Divine Judgment go off, and what happened was actually Trixtank immediately finds the shield onto QvoFred, engages the team, and then through space and time, hitting Yammyn, followed up by QvoFred's damage, deletion, and then because Dimi had also gone very aggressive, took a little bit of poke, Xaliea was able to solo him out because his cavalry charge was still up, and Dimi had ulted earlier looking for that speed buff invade.
And Dimi falling down there was like a different fight in that little scenario. They all happened at the same time, but Xaliea cut him out, I guess, after the hammer throw more than anything, because he hammered through into the wave and realizing that Xaliea went aggressive.
And then cavalry charge, you hit, every single tick of it.
Yeah.
It's the highest damaging ability in the game.
Pressure left-hand side from Paradigm here. You can see that in the jungle, Qvo's here, and emilitoo
Baiting.
getting baited onto Funballer, but Funballer took a lot of poke, and now the backflip's down. Qvo going to give chase. He doesn't have ultimate, however, and no real chase. If Fatalis was finished there, that was a kill.
He had rank 2, also speed buff, but emilitoo able to back off just in time. And now Trix here for the second game in a row, going to be making sure to have vision on this Gold Fury, splitting a little bit of the wave with Lawbster as well.
So Paradigm's patience pays off there. I mean, the blue buff got invaded by Dimi and the boys of Panthera, but in response, they managed to find that kill and take a small gold lead.
They found two kills,
right.
more importantly. Also able to secure their own speed, got their own jungle as well. They haven't been able to invade or gain any pressure into Panthera's side of the map, but that's fine for them. They want to go for late game. They have the Xbalanque, they have the Janus as well. QvoFred on Bakasura kind of, it's dependent really on when Bakasura falls off. He could still be useful, but it's more about if he can isolate a player.
Well, he has got Fatalis finished now, and it looks like he may be swinging around to the right-hand side. They're looking in the jungle now because you can see that Dapson's making a rotation round here at the moment. Solo's fighting there as the imps do go the way of Panthera.
And he'll just jump away. I think he was actually trying to bait Panthera into a fight there. He had the fire elementals up in his face, but he was watching as Panthera was counter-warding, so maybe thinking he could get some free damage off, chase someone out, maybe even force an ultimate.
As we set in the lull action for a moment or two, both the supports here, they have both gone for Hide of the Urchin rushes here into Talaria boots, so both want that mobility. iRaffer now going for the damage option with those Shoes of the Magi this game. He's just going to go for the extra gold income and mobility.
You have to go Urchin early as well, especially on a support. It's so crucial to get those stacks online because the item is not gold efficient at its base level. I believe it needs 6 stacks to be gold efficient, and then once it's like 10 stack, then it's one of the most gold efficient protection items in the game. Speed buff going to be secured once again by QvoFred. You can see Panthera, they want to invade it, but they can never seem to get in position in time. They will have the accurate timer now, though. They saw it go down in their face. Left-hand side, Funballer and emilitoo continue to battle out. It was actually emilitoo getting the better of Funballer last game.
The duel between the two. emilitoo's going to head into the jungle and find nothing available for him. He will, however, find Bakasura rotating on by QvoFred here, and that'll get called to arms from Panthera to create a zone. iRaffer going to look for the stun out, but a nice leap from Qvo in place will avoid the stun.
Mid-Harpy's going to be spawning, and that's what Panthera are trying to do. They're trying to find a pick potentially, and they're looking at Lawbster. There goes the Neith ult, but Lawbster has ult as well. He's not even going to burn anything.
But they're going to hit the slow onto him first of all through space and time fighting. He's going to do it through the whole team. Turn the damage back around, but the circle of protection from Yammyn's keeping him up. Qvo's in trouble. Qvo falls down to iRaffer.
Panthera just perfectly body blocking Qvo out. I think there was an instance where he could have, but he actually turned around at just the wrong second, or the Intoxicate, excuse me. The Intoxicate actually keeping him drunk, and he couldn't line it up in time to get through the portal and get away.
And emilitoo rotates around, picks up the red buff when Funballer goes back to base there. They're going at the left and Harpies as well. Things have picked up pace a little bit for Panthera here, and for me right now, I think the talking point is nerf Bacchus.
Nerf Bacchus. I mean, when it comes to EU, when it comes to iRaffer and Trix specifically, the god is so potent. And Dimi here, gonna be forced back into his base, has no teleport up, adapting, doing his speed buff. So Xaliea not gonna head into the jungle to see if he can scout anything out here. Dimi will be fine, though, for the most part. You can see he's about 200 gold behind. Not the worst this far into the game, especially on an assassin.
Dimi's done a good job of just holding off in this lane as well. I mean, he's got, especially when Xalia's picked up a kill.
I think that was a solo kill as well.
It was a solo kill for the most part, yeah. And Dimi's done a good job of holding himself in this lane, keeping up in gold and experience there as well. Has purification online now, so it's going to be a bit more of a difficult ask to try and catch Dimi out of position. QvoFred could have looked for that on the Bakasura earlier on when he didn't have the purification available.
One thing that's surprising to me in this game right now is QvoFred. He's level 11, he's 500 gold behind adapting, and he's simply not farming as efficiently as you want onto Bakasura. That's one of the things, that Bakasura, he didn't people seem to forget that he didn't get any stronger. This god was not picked up by anyone outside of, Cyclone Spin in the solo lane last season. He did not get any stronger at any point in the game. All that happened is he's able to invade better because he can instantly eat the boars and the mid harpies now. And if you're not getting that XP lead, which is what you're looking for, you're really not much, you're not that powerful.
Well, Panthera threatened a Gold Fury there, and Paradigm responded well. Trixtank just led the charge for a moment, and in the end, everybody goes back to farming mid. Xaliea, though, fighting with Dimi still. They're both just fighting each other's minion waves now. They've decided it's no longer time to try and fight each other because it's going to be hard to find the kill. However, Trix could be caught out here.
Oh, no, he's going aggressive. He blinks. He only finds Yammyn. There's the knockup as well. Circle Protection going to be dropped, but here comes Xaliea around the corner, and Lawbster hits a big snipe.
Lawbster, but the heal from Circle Protection is huge, and now Xalia's in trouble too. They're still looking for Yammyn on the back, and we'll get QvoFred the kill. Lawbster gets out of the danger zone, and those amazing portals come through to help get his teammate out of danger as well. Paradigm pick up a kill and escape.
Trixtank with an on-point shield keeps Lawbster alive there. He's able to weasel away from adapting, find a portal at the speed buff, get out. And adapting, he could have gone onto the team fight, onto the Circle Protection to help protect his team, but he was trying to isolate out Lawbster. Unfortunately, though, Trix too quick on the draw, gets him out of danger, and like you said, the 1-for-0 in favor of Paradigm.
And not only that, the Xbalanque pick, which I've not really mentioned about against Neith, but it's pretty useful to stop him from being able to find these World Weavers to influence the fight as early as he would like to. And that's actually put some pressure onto that duo lane idea that they had there of bringing the Neith in for the global presence.
It's also really good against Thor. He can't get the full vision on who he wants to come crashing down on. It's hard to kind of line up your ultimates, and maybe that's why I'm not exactly sure the timing in that team fight, but maybe that's why we saw him go onto Lawbster, because he wasn't too sure about landing on anyone else in that engagement.
And it's hard for the Hunters as well, because they'll be listening to comms the whole time. When they hear that fight going off, it's going to be able to Funballer to poke the Darkest of Night at the right time. Yeah,
it's because you can't mess it up, right? If Trix blinks in and then Darkest Night goes off, honestly, the ult is pretty much neutralized because Yammyn was kind of alone for a couple seconds.
And it's also keeping an eye on emilitoo when he's channeling that ultimate, and especially when it's emilitoo as well. He's the guy
always charging,
doing it the whole time. Like, well, I'm not sure if I should do it this time, but we'll see.
And Funballer going for a, I wouldn't say risky build, but not looking for a power curve build.
He's done this all season.
But that's the thing, right? You can see 14 minutes in, he's 0-0-3, which is pretty good on a Xbalanque for 15 minutes, but still hasn't been able to complete Transcendence. Now, once he gets his item after Transcendence, it's going to be great, but he's not going to be influencing too much outside of his ultimate if the Hunters start rotating.
But he doesn't need to do that for now. He can just sit there and pop his ultimate and then just continue to farm and keep getting a bit of assist gold for free, as you do, as the Xbalanque.
He's got a little bit of a lead over emilitoo because of that. Not much, but
helps out a little bit now and again. Xaliea doing his own blue buff for the time being. Xaliea has finished off some of his items, still working towards more. Breastplate of Valor already finished. Meanwhile, Dimi working on a breastplate himself by the looks of it after the Jotun. So standard sort of assassin build we've seen.
Here's my thing. How is Dimi going to translate into team fights? Is he going to be the same, I'm going to engage? You can see he's actually going into the CDR build. He's got Yoans online, working on breastplate, and adapting the Captain Twig style of Nemesis here.
World Weaver just got fired onto Lawbster. They're going to engage fully onto him as well, but immediately gets to the sky, gets away. Toxicate from Raff is enough for the kill. Dimi dunks down, but not going to find anybody. Funballer going to return some damage with the Darkest of Nights, and immediately Panthera with a power play at the Gold Fury.
And Lawbster has been the target of Panthera all game, constantly looking for him. You can see he's got 2 deaths there, also barely escapes 2 other deaths thanks to Trixtank here, and this is going to be an uncontested Gold Fury for Panthera. They're going to back off. Trixtank going to get stunned out, but iRaffer's just zoning for now.
emilitoo is in an awkward position, realizes QvoFred's with him. Sprint has been popped as well, looking for a backflip at the last minute, and he gets it as Dimi gets a wall down. But there's the ultimate from QvoFred. Sanctuary is helping him out to keep alive as emilitoo. emilitoo trying to trade this one out, but the knockable will stop that, but QvoFred falls as well.
Just barely, though. And now you can see iRaffer here very low, but with the help of Dimi, should be able to force Paradigm off of this. In the meantime, the rest of Panthera get a tower in the middle lane. Paradigm going to be sieging up here on the left-hand side with the heals of Xaliea. This should be free.
Tier 1 tower does fall. Speed buff taken away, though, by adapting is another thing. Right, Harpy's taken. Blue buff not available, but Panthera make that worthwhile. Paradigm did manage to find a kill on emilitoo, but he did such a good job of stalling.
It was a 1-for-1 in kills. They both trade out towers. However, adapting gets the speed buff. Also, Panthera guarantee that Gold Fury. They get the mid-harpies as well, and you can see that goal take a quick dive. 2,000 in the favor of Panthera as Lawbster just trying to keep this tower on the right-hand side up.
And you mentioned, like, how's Dimi going to transfer to team fights? Well, Panthera this game, they've got a composition that's very similar to a Paradigm style. 3 men go aggressive. Yammyn's got a self-peel. Emilitoo, they've got a self-peel for themselves because they ain't getting much help after the fight starts.
One thing that's going to be important here for Lawbster is to make sure he sticks up against walls very closely, because we've seen, I said it there once he got picked off, that is the target, right? Panthera are trying to lock down this Janus, make sure he can't farm, make sure he can't, you know, kind of weave himself in and out of these team fights and help protect his team as well. And anytime he's against, or excuse me, away from a wall, it's always Dimi coming crashing down.
He does crash down as iRaffer crashes away from the fight there in the mid lane with that belly flop. Meanwhile, you can see QvoFred. He has got his chins finished now to go with the Fatalis, so the build is coming along from the young jungler, but meanwhile, his opposition adapting on that Nemesis, well, he's a little bit more advanced.
And Paradigm here getting very aggressive into this Fire Giant pit around mid-harpies as well. Lawbster by himself. Trick's going to be stunned out and knocked up here. Spear Ball is going to connect, but Lawbster just going to portal out. You know, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
I love what Trixtank did. Paul comes out, but look at this. Darkest and Nice left hand side. We've got a man fight going on between Funballer and emilitoo. emilitoo uses a Purification Sanctuary. Use Whirlweaver Child into the face of Funballer. Just enough mana for Rising Jaguar for Funballer to get back to safety. And emilitoo overextends. Cuvo and Lawbster turn up. The heroes are here, but is there any response from Panthera for Funball?
I don't think they're going to be able to in time. Funball should be able to back successfully. You can see him under your tier 2. Boars are going to be stolen away by adapting and iRaffer, but that was just that was a really good placement of Lawbster's ultimate. He actually didn't even ult looking to get right next to emilitoo. He actually went above the Gold Fury line, and the whole idea was that emilitoo was stuck there boxing Funballer. Once he saw the Janus ult come out, he would probably just disengage, but the fact that it was so far up, there was no way he was going to be able to disengage and stay alive.
And I think that's what we saw emilitoo commit to the tower looking for the kill.
He knew he was dead.
Making sure he tries to trade it out, but in the end, it goes the way of Paradigm. Just a free pick between 2 hunters having a little tiff over in that duo lane. We don't see that as often right now.
You know, funny enough, emilitoo's actually been getting the better of Funballer, but Funballer is just abusing that fact to bait emilitoo further down the lane, and that's one thing that emilitoo suffered specifically from in Season 2 at the start, especially in the summer split, where he would be very aggressive with no wards, and even when he had wards, he would be overly aggressive and get picked off a lot.
Well, adapting, rotating around to the right side, looking for the blue buff damage onto QvoFred, who has a shield from Trixtank come out. Dimi's in the sky, though, and where's he going to dunk?
Looking for, actually, I think he's going to disengage. Just trying to peel right now for adapting. He's going to be able to jump away. But now Dimi with no hammer in a little bit of trouble. Here comes the LA. Circle protection is good. Stun on the back line here, but the heal going to keep Panthera healthy for now. Lawbster isolated, can't get to a wall. Manages to find a rock instead. Funballer on the right-hand side fighting with Dimi. But both teams disengaging and re-engaging.
Very messy fight from both teams. No, execution was off from both of them more than anything else. The peel was pretty good for each side, but the actual fighting was not on point.
It's because the call was to engage, but both teams were really disengaging just as quickly. So when you go aggressive and the team backs off, sometimes you can't get in position, or your team isn't in position to follow up on, you know, you cataclysming or, you know, charging to the back line on Guan. So they have to reset.
Paradigm need to be careful here because Panthera do have 2 ultimates available right now, and they're still trying to pressure this Paradigm. They defended the tier 1 tower, now they're looking to try and answer back at the tier 1 on the right instead. Gold Fury's about to spawn in 15 seconds. If something goes wrong for one of these teams, they will lose a Gold Fury.
And QvoFred actually just trying to keep iRaffer busy in the middle lane, and that's one of the ults for Panthera, but Paradigm, they're going to be able to get that tier 1 in right-hand side, and QvoFred should be fine here. iRaffer hasn't toxic. Oh no, he used it already.
iRaffer used it on the minions to stop Cuvo getting the tower in mid lane. Cuvo wisely goes to the back though and gets away. Could have been in trouble, but Dimi may catch him. He's not got an ultimate to get away. Sorry, jump to get away from this one. The problem is though is that Dimi was just off the mark a little bit. The Whirlweaver will connect, but the shield was good from Trix. Dimi gets out of danger too.
Just barely there. Dimi missing the double tap. A really nice backstack from QvoFred to juke that out here. And now with Dimi's ult down, the team's going to be forcing this Gold Fury. No teleport online from Dimi either. He's going to be stuck walking to this. Xaliea has heals to make sure to keep everyone healthy. There it comes. Panthera aren't going to give this up for free.
They also know Intoxicate is down for iRaffer. iRaffer trying to create his own now. Going to stun onto Trixtank. Gets rooted as well. Some poke damage from emilitoo, but no real commitment from either team there. Instead, back to farming we go. Nobody wants to try and fight at the gold.
I think Paradigm were trying to force another fight while Dimi was still away from the engagement. Unfortunately for them, Panthera didn't take the bait. They just spaced themselves nicely. And Gold Fury was reset, but I mean, this game's still very close. Only about 2,000 gold separate the teams right now. And despite Panthera being the ones with the lead, it's Paradigm who have been very aggressive in trying to take the advantages. There goes the tier 1 emitter as well.
Trixtank though with the flop off the mock. Ult comes out from adapting. Going to hit the Divine Judgment onto Funballer. Dunk from Dimi onto his back for Sanctuary and Purification. He'll keep him alive. Now Dimi's surrounded by the creeps of QvoFred's Regurgitate. Trixtank trying to do what he can as well in this engagement.
Oh, that's
through
circle.
space and time just off the mark, but the circle was on point and emilitoo picks up Trixtank. The portal's good, but they're also healthy. Panthera.
Paradigm, still trying to fight. QvoFred falls, Xaliea going aggressive as well, but the problem was they had already lost the fight. All the ultimates were expended. No way Lawbster or Funballer could come back into the engagement, and then QvoFred and Xaliea are still there fighting 2v4. QvoFred falls, Xaliea got baited a little bit, and now this is going to be a tier 2 coming out from Panthera.
If in gaming terms, right, whenever you played video games, if the floor changes color, move. That's always been the rule.
Don't stand in the fire.
Don't stand in anything that's colorful.
I mean, Trix was caught, right? Because all his movement abilities were down. He was also stunned out by the wall, and that just allowed Yammyn to stack up so much damage on that circle protection. emilitoo finishes him off, and then by then, there is the majority of your front line outside of Xaliea dead.
And it's not just the damage that comes back from that ultimate from circle of protection.
It's the
heal. And the whole team were grouped up for that from Panthera, so they all got it. And that allowed them to take the tier 2 as well. They're not going to be doing Fire Giant, and once they see this back, this could be a go time for Paradigm. They may rush the Fire Giant here.
Oh, is that a teleport coming in? No, that's Xaliea. That's Xaliea, so that's not Dimi. And this, I'm not going to say it's free, but it could be pretty
Let's
close.
tune in with Dimi. Dimi's going to be the one to get here. First of all, he is on the Thor. He's going to try
he has no idea. He's farming back camps.
He's already at half health. Dimi's now closing. Now he's going to the sky. He's already below half. He's going to dunk in, look for damage dealers, but instead, Fire Giant goes to Paradigm, and Dimi is looking for kills.
Is Paradigm looking to disengage or re-engage? There's the Cataclysm coming out from Trix. QvoFred follows up, takes out one. He's going to jump away as well. Here comes adapting to the back line, just trying to isolate carries. Xaliea going a little bit too far by himself. Adapting should be able to help finish this off, but a 1-for-1 and a Fire Giant Paradigm are saying, hell yes.
But they did just lose the Phoenix after the last engagement too, so that doesn't necessarily mean that Paradigm are on their front foot here. They're still going to deal with Panthera, who are now going to take their tier 1 tower on the right-hand side and even things up some more.
This has kind of neutralized Panthera's lead, right? Obviously, they have to deal with the fire creeps. I don't think Paradigm are looking to be aggressive at all. They just want to stop or slow Panthera's advances. Tier 2 on the right-hand side, not even going to be looked at. Panthera in the 4v4 with FG under Paradigm, they're going to back off.
Yeah, losing Xaliea on the front side for Paradigm there in that little skirmish just wasn't worthwhile for them. They did delete Dimi, but let's be honest, did they really have to keep going for that? If Xaliea would have stayed with the team, this could have been an opportunity for Paradigm to potentially get a Phoenix themselves.
To be fair, Xaliea also zoned out the back line, right? He kept adapting and Yammyn busy in most of that engagement, and you could see, just based on where Dimi landed, he was looking for kills. He wasn't looking to try and steal the Fire Giant. He wanted to set up for his team to kind of follow up because he knew Paradigm was going to be taking damage from that FG, and if he could kind of stun them in fire pools or a knockup, that could just swing the fight. And even if Paradigm get Fire Giant, they could get wiped.
Well, Paradigm are looking at the Gold Fury now. Funballer's here. Trixtank is on his way. iRaffer aware of what's going on, but I don't think they'll look to contest against 4 members with a Fire Giant here. Maybe they will, though, because they're all grouped up at a decent angle. Dimi has his ultimate available. Reset from Paradigm does happen as Trix and iRaffer with those big, fat Guardian bodies block the way between the two teams.
Shield is down, but Panthera don't make an aggressive call. You'll see that a lot from teams. Once the shield comes out, that's when teams will look to engage because they know there's no cleanse, no worry about that bonus health coming out from a team. But I think with Fire Giant, a little bit
Blink
risky.
initiation, though, coming out from Trixtank. There's a through space and time. Just misses Dimi, but the unstable vortex doesn't. Lawbster gets it. Pulled to the back from QvoFred, looking for more pressure on adapting, whose shield will stop them aggressive.
And Xaliea going to take the portal the other way here. Fire Minion still in this mid lane as Paradigm trying to take care of them. They have the 5v4 advantage, but still Panthera, everyone alive, has all of their ultimates, so it will be a little bit risky.
Good little poke onto emilitoo there, coming out from Trixtank and Funballer combining. Trix tanking up the tower here, trying to get Funballer an option to get in range, but iRaffer's there to block it, and the intoxication will force them back for a moment. Minion wave onto the tower, adapting good ult onto Funballer, knowing the Rising Jaguar's down as well, but Trix with the shield will get Funballer out of danger. Lawbster's around the side, though.
Here comes Xaliea, actually cavalry charge into the backline. Circle protection dropped, and Paradigm, they fought into it a couple times earlier. They're going to say, no way this time, and they're going to back off. Dimi spawning in 10 seconds. Teleport is up. So Paradigm, they need to be aware of this, but Panthera have burned all of their ultimates.
They've burned half of Trixtank's health, and the tier 2 tower still stands for now above half health at the moment as we see iRaffer fall through a portal, taking a lot of poke. Dimi is now back. iRaffer going to flop in place, and immediately QvoFred going to disengage,
Dimi.
as are all the boys at Paradigm.
Dimi looking for QvoFred here, and he should fall one more hit. No, the hammer actually way off the mark, and really good spacing from the rest of the team. The wall's on point, but there goes the portal. Walks straight into Dimi, who managed to come up with the kill. iRaffer and adapting are low. Spear
Yammyn!
from around the wall, and Dimi comes up with the double.
Emilitoo still giving chase with Yammyn pushing the fire minions down mid lane here. They don't want to let them back if they can. Wall connects. There's the ultimate as well. There's the flop. Trixtank's in trouble. He's very low. The Cataclysm will help him out. Xaliea looking for Raffer. Meanwhile, Trixtank
This
gets
is
out.
Funballer's
Xalia's
fight.
still committing.
This is Funballer's fight, but he's actually not going to keep going aggressive, a little bit worried. Here comes Yammyn around the backside, and a silence going to find it too. Xaliea here being chased out. Double tap not going to connect, but the root will, and it's going to be Yammyn coming up against the solo laner. Somehow Panthera managed to turn it. Paradigm a little bit too greedy for that tier 2. They don't even get it.
Yammyn came up so big in that engagement.
The
Spirit
Spirit
Ball
Balls.
silence is on point, really helping out his team and allowing them to come forward. And to be fair, in the middle of this match as well, that huge circle of protection is what put them in this spot. Trixtank under pressure, as is the Phoenix for the second time this game. Funballer, though, does make Dimi pay the price for overcommitting.
QvoFred has Blink online. You can see 3 members low, but he's not going to risk it. He's going to wait for the rest of his team. Panthera hold on against Paradigm's Fire Giant for now. Reset that Phoenix in the middle, and they're still 5,000 ahead. They can't risk going to that Gold Fury just yet, it seems like. And this game, I mean, it's just been back and forth.
Dimi just dying there does allow, once again, Paradigm to look at this Fire Giant for a second time now. With Dimi down for another 30 seconds, Xalia's going to be up.
Yeah, it's a little bit different because what happened was Paradigm saw all of Panthera back right next to the Fire Giant, and they were already in position to finish it off. It's not worth the risk to try and dive it, and by then Panthera could be back from their base, maybe in position. This will be a Gold Fury attempt coming out from Paradigm. iRaffer doesn't want to give it up for free here.
But he has to.
Without his team, he can't jump into 4.
No real choice, and Paradigm's going to farm up some jungle a little bit more now. This final item starting to be purchased from most of the players now in this game, and you can see once that happens, Funballer will hit another stage in his build where Xbalanque versus Neith in the late game, definitely a favorable for Xbalanque.
And emilitoo has his full build, right? He's about 1,000, actually not even, about 500 gold ahead of Funballer, and that's because he went for all of the power curve items. You can see Iqbal, Aussie, Fatalis, all very cheap. Even Golden Bow and Boots, all very cheap items for the most part, where the Transcendence and the Chins, I guess they both have Chins, but the Transcendence slowing down Funballer's build.
Fire Giant's going to be looked at by both teams now. With the middle Phoenix down again for Paradigm, they've got to keep an eye and keep someone farming that up. But they do have a Janus after all, and there he is in the jungle just chilling, relaxing.
And we've seen Lawbster have much safer positioning ever since he took those 2 early deaths. He's only fallen once since then, and just a really good job of sitting in the back line, making sure he's always next to a wall because Dimi can't target him out anymore. And
now Dimi, talking about him, he's hanging around this right-hand side, just recalling back to base now to finish off what looks like he's going to be the Medjai's Blessing. Really worried about the CC. And the crowd control just causing too many issues, and I guess that's what he's looking for there is Lawbster in mid, hanging. We're going to see a bit of lull in action here, Adonis, where both teams
It's a Fire Giant dance.
Yeah.
I think before it was kind of like each team had a slight advantage, and they were trying to abuse it, but now both teams on pretty equal ground for the most part. Panthera, with their gold lead, has a couple players ahead an item. And that's, I think, the positioning we're seeing. Speed buff going to be started here, and Funballer's just going to jump away.
There's a lot of aggression actually onto Funballer, who's in a world of hurt. They crash down on him and delete him through space and time 5, but Lawbster off the mark with that one. Now they're going to see them looking for the pick onto Adapting, who dashes away nicely. Trixtank gets a Cataclysm off, but immune mainly from the backside. Meanwhile, emilitoo catches Lawbster with the Spirit Arrow and deletes him too. Adapting picks up that kill. The flop from Raffer's good. It's going to force Cuvo into an open spot, and Adapting gets a double kill.
Xaliea, one of the only 2 alive here. Big Spirit Ball from Yammyn. Silence not going to hit. He's just trying to waste time, and Panthera having none of it. Run around the jungle all you want, Xaliea. Panthera, they're looking to split this one.
They can end this right here, right now. They're looking for the split. This will keep them at the top as per usual of the European standings, but at the moment, well, Paradigm gave him a little bit of a warning shot, as did Crunch Crew, saying, you're not unbeatable.
You are human.
You are human.
Panthera is human. They can lose. And even that game, too, that was not a clean victory for them. That was a very close game. Now, they were in essence, experimenting on the SPL stage.
That's what I was asking. Was it an experiment? That's the big one. Was it an experiment between those two, or was it?
I think it was an
else?
experiment for Panthera for sure. Maybe they've tried this in scrims, but it's one thing to do it in scrims and then do it on, under the pressure of SPL or LAN.
So with that game in tow, then Panthera climbed to 18-2. Paradigm also climbed 12-8. Not bad for Paradigm then, considering how this thing stand going forward now.
Yeah, Panthera now with 20 wins under their belt. They need one more or a single loss from Cringe Crew to guarantee first seed. I would imagine that's coming out, but that was a really important win for Paradigm. And even though they lost game 2, they have to be overall happy with how competitive the game was. They also had the fewest losses coming in to this set, looking at Europe, so I wouldn't say they're secured for second seed right now, but they have to be sitting pretty comfortable.
Yeah, pretty comfortable indeed. I mean, hungry for more on their heels, as is Dignitas, who dropped that game against Torpedo today as well. But anyway, go back to this game for us. We saw Dimi in the solo lane and Thor. I don't think it really made an impact.
I think it did in a couple engagements, but overall,
I've
him being on a frontliner might have been better.
I think we would have seen the same. Yeah, because I was going to say, it's like the same sort of thing on his tier.
He did a good job of isolating some players, especially in that last engagement, but I don't even think he was needed to kill Funballer. I think Adapting had that anyways.
Let's go back to First Blood, the beginning of the game, and it got off to a flying start as per usual with these two teams. It was very aggressive in both the games, and both the First Blood started very early on.
And this was a really good job by Panthera. So what actually happened here, because we didn't get to catch the beginning of it, was they actually forced Lawbster to portal.
Yeah.
He doesn't have boots, and he was running around the jungle as Dimi was collapsing on him. And it doesn't matter that he had the portals up. The fact that he was collapsed and cornered, just really well played by Panthera.
Yammyn, as we were tuning in with him, he had a great game at all seasons. This is the end of the game, actually, where he had made an impact once again. So no.
Emilitoo and Yammyn, both the long-range spirit balls and the roots from Emilitoo were so good at locking down these players when Paradigm were trying to disengage.
Well, QvoFred was playing Bakasura that game. How do you think he did?
Good. For the most part, good. I think it was positive. I think he suffered from being a Bakasura and not being ahead because, like I said, Bakasura hasn't gotten any stronger or weaker when you're looking at, the grand scheme of junglers in the SPL. He's simply been able to farm a little bit more efficiently. But now that the jungle has swapped back to speed buff, we're not seeing those boars on the solo lane side, which we know a lot of Bakasuras like to invade and get ahead on. And I think that hurt him. He was down 500 gold to a Nemesis who really struggles to farm in the jungle. And if you're not ahead on Bakasura, you're just not doing what you need to do.
Got off okay for him. I mean, what he did do well was get to the back line and hide and cheekily sneak around corners.
He definitely had some really big kills.
The problem with that, though, is that Lawbster was doing the same thing, I want to say, trying to hide around corners and find the sneaky damage. And he picks up a couple of kills for himself in this game and turns up when he's needed to. But I just don't think they had the same sort of thing as game 1.
And, Trixtank was doing a good job of both peeling and backlining, but I don't know, man. I just don't like Bakasura. I think teams overvalue it. I don't know. I'm crazy, though.
Well, we do have a good friend, Lawbster, on the line. Lawbster, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, what's up, fellas? I'm good. How about you?
I'm pretty good. Now, Paradigm 1-1 today. How did it feel to take a game of Panthera, and do you think you should have got 2?
Yeah, it feels good, man, with the 1, for sure. The second game can be... We've been discussing it a lot, and
all right, you tell us then. What happened game 2? What do you think? Don't point anyone out, but overall, what was the problem?
I mean, we could have won the game, but we made it really hard for ourselves, I think. With
Why?
a couple of things. I don't want to go into too much detail, but we were talking about maybe picking up another jungler than Baka because it was making the team fights really hard.
Another jungler than QvoFred,
I was about to say, QvoFred replaced. All right, we're here.
You just called it out on screen.
He's replaced. He's gone already.
So
talking about replacing Trix, Funballer, and Xaliea too. So it's me left right now.
It feels like NA all over again. That's what you're telling me right now. It just feels like we're going the same route. So, Lawbster, talk to me about game 1. You guys got off very well. You've had a pretty good performances overall against Panthera, one of the only teams to defeat them in the past year, realistically. What's it like to kind of deal with them? And do you have to have a different playstyle or mindset going against them?
Yeah, a little bit. You have to have the mindset that they're gonna hit absolutely everything that they throw at you. So, you saw that second game when I was playing Janus. They made it incredibly hard for me to do anything. As soon as I showed myself, I got Nemoed, Neith. What can I even do at that point?
It's really hard to land the Neith ults. It's not the easiest thing in the world.
It's a rough situation to be in if you're emilitoo.
How confident are you guys right now? Obviously, Panthera, the only team to qualify for DreamHack. Despite you not 2-0ing, 1 win against the world champions, looking pretty good. Do you guys expect to make DreamHack, and do you expect to make it in second place?
We expect second place. I think if we keep it up and perform as we should, then we're gonna get second.
I want to talk a little bit about week 6 because I don't think I've been able to talk to any one of your teammates recently. You guys came off of a 1-3 week. Was that a wake-up call for you guys? Did you guys kind of kick it into gear a little bit more after week 6?
That was a standard like paradigm after like the bye week or something.
Yes.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like any bye week for us is that sentence usually. So we struggle to like get back into it, and we don't like find any scrims or anything like that. It makes it hard to come back. But
Okay.
So final question.
it was a wake up call as well as we already knew that we were not in a great spot that week. But yeah, we picked it up.
Final question then, Lawbster, as well. Who do you think is going to come to DreamHack with you and Panthera?
By the way teams are playing as of this moment, I think Hungry for More has a good shot.
Okay.
That's a good shot. Okay, well, good shot, I should say. But anyway, do you have any shout-outs you want to give, Lawbster, before we let you go?
I'll shout out Jermaine because he's whining PMs.
Who?
Jermaine.
Who's he?
Jermaine Lee.
No. He didn't he used to play on like Myrmidons or something?
The team that got relegated?
That team?
Yeah, he's French. He's nice.
Be careful.
Be careful. Even I was like, he's French, and I'm like, I'm not going that far. He's nice. Any other shout-outs, Lawbster?
We're good. Paradigm, of course.
Okay.
Thanks to Lydia, she's been bringing up the Paradigm brand
Awesome.
to a new level, I'd say. And yeah. So
Awesome.
Thanks very much, Lawbster. Congratulations on today. Hopefully you'll make it to DreamHack and be able to see you there over in Sweden. Let's go to the standings now and see how today has messed things up.
20-2, Panthera sits on top, but Paradigm coming in with a 1-1 trade against the world champions, find themselves in second place after Hungry for More comes up with 2 wins today.
And Hungry for More, they're not out of the woods just yet. If they want to hold on to that third place spot, it's going to be a very difficult ask.
They have a very difficult schedule to close out. They need to face Panthera. They've got to face Dig, I believe, later this week as well. And then I believe it's Torpedo, who's kind of sitting in the middle, could look to play Spoiler.
Torpedo just took a game off Dig. What's that tell you? Let's have a look at tomorrow, though. We're back to Saturday, and it's Fnatic versus Leftovers, the battle of the bottom, the relegation fight, and Team Dignitas versus Hungry for More. That one could potentially decide who is vying for that third spot along with Cringe Crew.
And Cringe Crew kind of was very, I wouldn't say secured, but they were fit snugly in that third spot. They were second, I believe, in week 6, but really starting to find themselves piling up the losses.
Really struggling. Well, with that is the end of the things for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. From everybody at hi-rez, the casters, and of course, Peckies. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Can never forget Peckies.
Tomorrow.